All right, let's talk about effects. Now, first and foremost, in Live 11, our Max for Live effects are just mixed right in with our normal effects. Okay, so I've talked about this a little bit in the other classes, but let me reiterate and go into a little bit more detail on this. So, Max for Live is this kind of programming language that lives within Live. You can be an expert at Live and totally never touch the Max programming language. You don't need to know how to program to use Live. Um, that being said, it's actually a pretty easy language to learn just by the way it works, and it's super fun, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with it. But we're not going to go into how to program those effects in this class. We are going to go into how to use those effects, though. So you can think of the non-Max for Live effects as their own little programs that are built into Live. You can't change them. You can use them, and they have a lot of parameters that we can adjust. But you can't like open it up and like reroute it. Think of it like a car. You can, with the built-in effects that are not Max for Live, it's like a car with the hood padlocked shut. Like you can't go in there and tweak the engine, right? Which is probably good because you probably don't know how to go in there and tweak the engine. The engine's just going to work and we're going to be happy with that. But you can still drive the car. With Max for Live, you can go in there and drive the car all day long, and then when you have an idea for how to make the car better, you can open the hood and add some, turbo thrusters in there if you want. That's the main difference. So we can tell when we're using Max for Live because of the icon. So these are effects. This one with extra little lines coming off of it is a Max for Live effect. Let me just show you what this looks like. Here's a normal effect. Okay, here's the effect, right? Just normal. This is a MIDI effect. Now let's look at this one. Okay, here's normal effect. Here's a Max for Live effect. On first glance, they both look like effects. There's nothing about this one that screams Max for Live except this little button here. This little button is how you unlock the hood. That's how you pop the hood open and see what's in it. If I click on it, it's going to launch Max, and then it's going to show me the code that I can then alter. Okay, so here's what it looks like in Max. If I open this window, take it out of presentation mode, we see all this stuff. Right? This is the code of Max for Live. It doesn't look like code how you might think. Max for Live code, so to speak, is this kind of huge amount of patch cables and things like that. But that's what's cool about this is you might say, okay, let's just find something here. So here we have divide by 3. That's cool, but maybe you're thinking, hey, what would be cool is if we actually divided that by like 10. So if you track this down, figure out what that number does, and you say, I want that more extreme, you can just say, okay, cool. Divide by 10. Boom. And now you just put in turbo thrusters into your car. So I'm not going to save that, and I'm going to close it. Because in this class, we're just going to use Max for Live devices. We're not going to open them up and learn how to reprogram them. I am going to make a class on how to reprogram them though, because it's really fun, and how to make some of your own from scratch. So just know that when we're looking at effects, Max for Live effects are buried in here, and you don't really need to pay all that much attention to what's a Max for Live effect and what's not a Max for Live effect, because they all kind of work the same. But that's what these two different icons mean.